Hi, and welcome to Crafts by Two. I'm George.
And I'm Ken.
And this week, we've done a pinwheel pairing using Cricut Explorer and the new We Are Memory Keepers Pinwheel Punch Board.
Well, they're Cricut images. We did it on the Explorer, but anybody with the Cricut could use them.
That's true. So Ken shows you how to use Cricut Design Space if you have a Cricut Explorer machine to cut out the pinwheels and then put them together. And I show you how to use the We Are Memory Keepers Pinwheel Punch Board, my new favorite toy, if you couldn't tell.
For our pinwheel comparison, I'm using the Cricut 3D Pinwheels cartridge. It's not really a cartridge. These were digital exclusives for Cricut Craft Room, and I think we got them when we bought our Cricut Mini, but they are on the store, so you can buy it yourself. And this is the manual that I downloaded from the shop as a PDF, and this set allows you to make these 5 different pinwheel types. I'm going to make these last 2 here, the kind of fancy red one and the more traditional blue one. And the instructions talk about the real dial size and how to get them with the shift and no shift key, but they don't really give you any further instructions, so we're kind of going to wing it in Design Space as far as sizes. I've already got the cartridge set up here, and I'm going to use the flower center, the circle center, the red pinwheel, and the blue pinwheel. And here we go with the shapes, and like I said, no real size in Cricut Design Space, so I'm going to wing it a bit with the sizing. George and I had already talked, and we're going to do these at 6 inches, so I'm going to edit these to be 6 inches. And send them to the back. And I had been playing with these before, and I was kind of dragging them to resize and eyeballing things, and I was really using that kind of center circle as a guide to compare the two, and I decided that 1.2 inches works out the best, in my opinion. So I have the centers all set. And this red pinwheel is actually 2 shapes put together. So when we go to cut this, you'll see on the red preview, there's 2 of those. And like I said, the instructions don't really give you many details about putting it together. So I'm just going to cut these and kind of wing it, because it looks like you'll kind of interleave those together. And they don't give you any real information about straws or brads, so I'm just gonna try some ideas and see what works.
So I've unpacked the pinwheel punch, and we're going to make 2 different kinds of pinwheels, a single pinwheel and a nested pinwheel. I cut out these 3 pieces of papers. These 2 are close to my heart papers. This is some scraps that we had laying around. I cut them into 6 by 6 squares. So to get started, you open your arm and you're going to punch all 4 corners. And then you're going to line it up with these marks here or these marks here. They make a little bit different pinwheels, but for this one, the single pinwheel, we're going to line them up here. And you line up your paper with these marks as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you close the top. and that punches a hole in the center. That's when you're going to use this tool. This has a little blade on it and a little nub that you put into this track here. Hold it down and cut. Then you don't even have to lift it up. Just spin it till you line up as best you can. Put it back in and cut. And keep doing that for all 4 sides. Ta-da! Our pinwheel's done. We just have to put it together. So let's do the nested pinwheel. There's one paper punched. There's another paper punch. Because we're doing nested pinwheels, you're going to want to do one pinwheel with these guides and the other pinwheel with these guides. So with this one, let's line it up over here. So 6 inches. Close the top. It punched our center, and we're just going to run it down the track on this side. 1. And spin it, and if you see it doesn't line up perfectly, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll still work and look wonderful. 2. Oops. 3. 4. So there's one of our nested. Now line it up with the 6-inch mark, because that's the size of the paper we have, 6 by 6. Close it, it's in the center, and do our cut. 1. 2. 3. 4. Now we have our other pinwheel cut. Now we can just set this aside, because we're done with the Pinwheel Punch Board. So when I bought the Pinwheel Punch Board, I also bought some of the Pinwheel Attachment Kits. It comes with 10 straws and 10 pinwheel holder attachments. These really work well. They really let the pinwheel spin. So let's put together our single pinwheel. Let's put the attachment together. Slide it in, and this end will attach to the straw, and the pinwheel will go on here. So then we just put it through the center, and then you fold in one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the cap on, and then you can just pull these up a little bit so it's a little fuller, and I should probably do that on camera, huh? And then you can put your straw in. Ta-da! Look how great that spins. So there's our single pinwheel. Now to do our double pinwheel, you're going to put them one on top of the other at a 45-degree angle. Let's put together our attachment kit first. So you slide the flat end onto the post. Your straw is going to go here, and your cap's going to go on here. I found it easiest with this to thread the paper one on top of the other. And then you put them at a 45-degree angle to each other. Now this has to come over, so I found it easier to just go around and do this ahead of time. That way everything is where I can get it to the post and I don't have to fight with the paper or cardstock. And then you just take them one at a time and put them on. Ugh. And then put your cap on. And then you can pull paper out to the cap to make it a more full pinwheel. And put your straw in, and you can pull them apart a little bit. Oops. There you go. Isn't it simple? And look how beautiful. I can't wait to do this for the holidays. For the kids, for decorations. I can see making bouquets of pinwheels. Okay, we are memory keepers. I think you created a monster. Don't tell Ken.
Here I am with the cuts from the Cricut 3D pinwheels. There's the square one, which I did on the blue and striped paper. And then the two parts I did on kind of this double-sided red and yellow paper. In the preview in Cricut Design Space, I had it cutting on 3 mats, but I didn't want to just use 3 colors of paper just for some of the circles. So I used the sync feature in Design Space to make the big circles match one each for the other paper sets. But they're double-sided, so I can mix and match and play with things that I like. And the Cricut ones don't have a kit, so I grabbed some straws and some brads. And I need some glue because these need to be glued together. Let's do the simple one first. The holes they cut in the template are very small, and they're not really going to work for the brads to be able to spin. And it looks like I chose these brads because these are the ones that look like the brads from the instructions. So because of that, I grabbed our regular circle hole punch, and I'm just going to try to broaden these holes a little. I want to be careful that I don't punch a hole through the entire arm itself. So now I just bring these pieces in the center. Oops. And actually, I wasn't thinking I should do this piece first. So this has the stripes. They're kind of gonna come in. So I think I'm gonna do the blue, maybe the yellow side. And I'll punch this. So now I can really fold these over. bring that brad through. Just expanding this a little so it doesn't pop apart. And then for the straws, had two ideas. The first one, I'm just going to punch right through the straw to give somewhere for the brad to go. And that's way too tight because it doesn't spin. So trying to bend these a little shorter, but still give it something to secure it. That's not really going to spin on its own. So it looks kind of pretty, but it's not super functional. Let's try the next one. First, I'm going to glue this together. So this is going to have the yellow and the red. It's going to have the yellow coming into the center, so I think I'm going to do the red. And then we'll do the blue stripes. And again, I forgot I gotta punch the hole bigger. So there's the center. Now, I used George's trick to kind of weave these together. So now I can start, whoop, again, I forgot I need to make the holes bigger. This one's a lot easier because the pieces are more forgiving with where the holes are. Okay, so just weave those together and start lining them up. Which is easier said than done. Get this together, get that brad in, and this is a mess. So we'll go around to bring all those together and then get through those center pieces. Then we can bring those around. So it's kind of looking pretty. And for this one, just give this a little, well, one thing I was thinking, so kind of two things. So there's that, and then we can put the brad in the end of the bent straw. But that doesn't really hold it together, as it all comes apart again. So we're going to need to bend that. So one thought, to give it a little something more, just cut a little piece of the straw off and put that over the end of the brads to give it something to spin. And then, just like we did before, punch a hole through the straw. Now, can push that through, and the little piece of straw helps a little bit for the positioning. But no, that doesn't really work either. So this spins really oddly like that. So there's the end result of the two pinwheels. And not really happy with the straw as far as using them as actual pinwheels. This one, which was punched right through the straw, kind of spins a little bit. This one, where we tried to give it that extra support in the back, this barely spins at all and spins really kind of crazy. The instructions, like I said, don't really give you any idea of what to do for the straws or the sticks to support your pinwheels, and the pictures look like they just used brads, which is what I used here. As you can see from our videos, the We Are Memory Keepers accessory kit for the pinwheels really makes or breaks the pinwheels. The Cricut gives you some really nice designs. You have some more variety, but they are really more decorative than actual pinwheels.
Oh,
wow,
it almost spun once. So the pinwheel accessories are a great value. They retail, I think, for $4.99. You can find them on sale for $3 something normally. And they really make great pinwheels. I was excited when we ordered the punch board. Well, I ordered the punch board and then told Ken I ordered it. Because I thought making pinwheels would be fun, but after making them, I really love them. I don't know what it is. It just makes you happy, like you're a little kid. And I can see making like bouquets of these for Christmas, for Easter, for birthdays. It would be so cool. And a little kid's birthday party. Can you imagine if they had these and you can put people's names in them, especially if you cut the paper on the Explorer first. You know, maybe that's the next thing we have to try. Cut the pinwheel on the Explorer and use the accessory kit.
I think it would be definitely worth it because these were a little disappointing. But they have more variety, like the 6 and the 4. So you can kind of mix them together to layer them. But the Cricut version had some scalloped edges.
Right, you could do all kinds of
different
stuff
styles.
like that. So what you could even do is with the Cricut Explorer, or any Cricut, cut your paper into a square and maybe give it scallop edges or wavy edges. And then use the punch board to punch it out and make it into a cool pinwheel. I think really the only reason that you're kind of disappointed with those pinwheels is because I made my pinwheels first.
Well, and yours actually spin. So just kind of hacking things together with straws and the brads. This one doesn't spin at all. And that one kind of spins once.
And these really spin great. Better than store-bought ones, I think.
Yeah.
I really like these. This was a great buy. If you're interested in the We Are Memory Keepers Pinwheel Punch Board or the Pinwheel accessory kits, check the description below. We have some links for you. In addition to the link where you can go to purchase the punch board and accessory kits, there'll be a link that you can go to and enter. Because I love this so much, we're going to give away a punch board and 1 accessory kit.
That's awesome. Some lucky winner's going to be really happy.
So if you liked our video, please give us a thumbs up and tell your friends about us.
Share the video and don't forget to subscribe. Is it up here?
Yeah,
It's up here.
up there.
Leave your comments. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks for watching. I think George is going to go run about the house now waving his pinwheels.
Hey, It's the thing I do. So, until next Tuesday, or maybe later than Tuesday, because Ken's right, I'll be running around the house a lot. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Zoom.
Bye.
Oops. I messed up.
And this one I'm concerned about because I want to be careful I don't blow.
And then use the punch board in 1-Up Melody Lane.
Yeah, of course.